Tomorrow is July 1st. In this video, I'm going to analyze S&P 500 index SPX for the month of July using TradeWave analytics. See if we can find a pattern. Okay, this is TradeWave. I am going to select indices common. I could also select indices all. Type SPX. You can look at the last 30 years first. Select month of July. This is just a shortcut for the months. It updates the date ranges right up there. So take a look at month of July. As of 2015 until now, every July has been bullish for SPX. Last time SPX failed in month of July was 2014, and the time before that was 2011. Right there. Two huge months on 2009 and 2010. Huge. Whoa. 7 and almost 10%. And the last year, it closed up 0.86%. However, it went up an additional 2.69% and then closed up 0.86% for the month of July. And as we can look at the trend chart right over here, you can see it's kind of upwards, but a little up, down. It's not a straight up trend in the trend chart. I mean, as you know, well, you may not know, trend chart averages all of the years we're looking at right now, and it creates an average trend line. So we only care about the direction. The beginning of July seems to be more bullish than the second half. Look at that. When I selected until the first 2 weeks of July, it's actually positive all the way across except for 2022. It went up 2.44% first, and then it closed down 0.91%. Nothing earth-shattering though. But then the best way to take a look at these is go to PE+1, the year after a presidential election analysis. You can really just do this with TradeWave, so we're going to see what we can learn with that. Select July again. There it is. So when we look at PE+1 for the month of July, every year since 1989 has been positive except 2001. It dropped 2%. All the other years has been positive, and then prior to that, 1985 was down 0.76% and 0.98% in 1977. It looks generally bullish, and when we look at the trend chart right over here, it's actually pretty sharply up. So PE+1 years has a more bullish tone to it, at least historically, than just looking at years consecutively. And when I say PE+1, I mean just take a look at the years. It's every 4 years, and they're adjusted to the year after a presidential election. So that's what we are looking at right now. So we see that month of July is bullish, and if history repeats itself, it's going to be bullish again. Now, if the markets, of course, markets do whatever the heck they want. If it drops sharply, that shows you there is an outlier there. The probabilities are lower, but it's possible. That's usually driven by a news. I always describe seasonality as this: there's seasonal winds, but when there's a hurricane, your seasonal winds are not going to be felt as much. So let's take a look at this area that's actually kind of down. So at about July 2nd, see that peak right there? Things start going downwards. But that's typical of this time of the year. And if you got my book, I call that either 52 Days of Hell, or I call it also the Lost Summer, depending on the tone I'm looking for. Look at this. It's pretty bearish for this time, which is August 3rd until 21st of September. And it goes down, but this is the key that I'm actually looking for. Look at toward the end of October. October 27th is a bottom. It's a statistical bottom. So what happened after October 2nd? Let's just go and select October. When I select October, I am right here, but this is actually, I wanted to select November. Just go back to, look at this. It has gone up pretty nicely. Let's look at that. 1977 until 2021, every single year since 10/27 until end of December. Oh, I should probably make this 66. Has been bullish. So there's a really strong seasonal winds for a bullish jump on S&P 500 after it bottoms on October 27th. So strong period coming up, weak period after that, and then very strong period starting end of October. That's it. I hope if this is exciting to you, join one of our webinars